93 former civil servants have written to the Prime Minister expressing concern over the newly proposed regulations in the Lakshadweep. They have also asked for the removal of Praful Khora Patel as the administrator of the Union Territory. In a letter that is addressed to the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, Amit Shah and the Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar, these retired bureaucrats have said that each of these new draft regulations is part of a larger agenda that is against the ethos, the interests of the islands and islanders. Let's go across to Sneha Mary Koshi, who's following this story, the latest development in this story. So Sneha, just before it all gets political, to make it clear, the letter from this group states clearly that they are not affiliated to any political party. They've said that up front.
Well, that's right, Sarah. In fact, this constitutional constitutional conduct group, which has around 93 former top bureaucrats, IAS, IPS, IFS officers as signatories to this letter to the Prime Minister, Home Minister, Environment Minister, have clearly said they are not affiliated to any political party but believe in the Constitution, and that's why they are writing this letter. Now, they have raised certain concerns, strong concerns, in fact, even saying
Sorry, we seem to have lost the line there with Sneha Mary Koshi giving us more details about that letter written by those 93 ex-civil servants to the Prime Minister against the administrator of the Lakshadweep Islands, calling the policies that he is trying to put in place arbitrary. So we do have Sneha back on. Sneha, sorry, you got cut off there. Carry on.
Well, yes, Sarah. So this constitutional conduct group says that they believe in the Constitution. 93 former top bureaucrats who have signed this letter say that the measures by the current Lakshadweep administrator smack not of development but of alien, arbitrary policy making, and the proposals of this administrator are without consulting the locals, people who live in the island, and is an onslaught on the very fabric of Lakshadweep society, that these regulations, these draft proposals, regulations must be withdrawn and a full-time, people-sensitive, responsive administrator must be appointed. Now, this letter does not come in isolation. There have been a lot of protests, whether it be the online protests. Many of these online protesters also belong to Lakshadweep. They are the locals of Lakshadweep. There's also been political protests, especially elected representatives from Kerala, whether it be the parliamentarians or the legislators have been protesting. Delegations of parliamentarians, whether it be from the left or the Congress, have been denied permits to enter Lakshadweep, saying that there are, because of the pandemic, which is posing a major challenge according to the administration. But what are the main challenges, or what is it that these locals are opposing? There are a series of draft orders, but primarily, if we have to bring it down to the top three highlights, would be the Lakshadweep Development Authority regulation, which gives extreme powers to the administrator in terms of acquisition of land in the name of development. There are concerns that this is absolutely arbitrary and just a blindly following the Maldivian model of tourism. The Lakshadweep Prevention of Anti-Social Activities Regulation, or the Gunda Act, and this especially in a territory which has very low crime rate. Then also the Lakshadweep Animal Preservation Regulation, which prohibits slaughter, which aims to prohibit slaughter, consumption of bovine animals. This again in an island where consumption of beef or buff is seen as a norm, is a very normal practice. So a lot of concerns from locals, from politicians, as well as now you also have 93 top former bureaucrats who have written to the constitutional authorities in India asking for these controversial orders to be revoked.
All right. Thanks, Sneha, for putting all of that into perspective, giving us the background there. Thanks for that.